Chapter 8. A Hot Home. At the beginning of November, Karen was ready for the meeting with the New York Times journalist. The brown envelope was full. Then Drew decided to leave his job at the factory. He told Karen that the work was too dangerous. He wanted Karen to leave, too. "Not yet," Karen said. She wanted to stay until the meeting with the New York Times. She knew she would have to leave the factory after that. But how could she explain to Drew? Karen was now working during the daytime again, and on the evening of November 6th, she passed the scanner on her way out of the laboratory. Suddenly, the alarm sounded. She had to have another shower. After the shower, she went home, very tired and unhappy. After she arrived home, she went to the bathroom for a quick wash, and then she went to the kitchen to make a sandwich for the next morning at the factory. Then she went to bed. The next morning, November 7th, she got up and went to work. She was still tired, and she forgot to take her sandwich out of the fridge. On the way into her laboratory, she passed the scanner. Immediately, the alarm sounded. Everyone stopped what they were doing. The alarm never went off when people arrived, only when they left. Everyone looked at Karen. "Perhaps the scanner's wrong," said Susan. But the men in white arrived and began to pull Karen out of the room. "No, please, not again. All my body hurts from the shower last night." But nobody listened. They showered her again. But after the shower, she didn't pass the usual scanner test. There was still something radioactive in her body. "What does it mean?" asked Karen. Nobody answered. A doctor arrived and checked the test again. He shook his head. "Where were you last night?" he asked. "Here," said Karen. "I was working late." "Where did you go after work?" "Home, of course. I was tired, so I went to bed." "Are you sure?" "Sure? Of course I'm sure."
"Did you see anyone?"
"Only the other girl in my house, Paula. I just said good night to her. She was already in bed."
"Okay, let's go,"
said one of the men in white. "Where?"
"What's your address?"
26 3rd Avenue West. Why?"
"Get in the car. Don't ask stupid questions. We don't answer questions from thieves."
"Thieves? What have I stolen?"
"Get into the car."
Someone pushed Karen into a big white car. It was full of more men in white. They were all wearing the special white clothes and hats to protect their faces and bodies, and they were all holding scanners. They drove to Karen's home and opened the door with Karen's key.
"Stay in the car!"
one of the men in white shouted at Karen. But Karen didn't listen to him. She followed them to the house and looked through the windows. The men went all round the house with the scanners, and everywhere was radioactive. The kitchen, the bedroom, the bathroom. The kitchen was very hot, and when the men opened the fridge, the noise from the scanners was very loud. The men followed the noise to the sandwich.
"I suppose she made this last night," said one of the men. "Stupid girl. She's lucky that nobody has eaten it."
They put the sandwich carefully into a bag. That was only the beginning. Soon all Karen's things were in bags. Her clothes, her books, her photos. When they took her photo of Drew, Karen couldn't stay quiet any longer. "What are you doing? It's just a photo!"
"Be quiet," they told her. "Don't you understand anything? Your house is very radioactive. The walls are hot, too. We can't leave anything in the house. It's not safe. Think of the people next door. Now we're going to lock the house, and nobody must go in again. Phone your friend Paula and tell her to find somewhere to sleep tonight. Don't tell her too much. Nobody must know what's happened here. People won't understand, and they'll begin to worry and get afraid. That's not good for the factory."
"The factory? Who cares about the factory? What about me? If my house is radioactive, I'm radioactive too," said Karen.
"Why didn't you think of that before you stole the uranium? Go to your boyfriend's house. Don't go out. Don't speak to anyone. We'll phone you tomorrow and tell you what to do."
They put all the bags in the car and drove away. Karen stood alone in the middle of the street. They thought she was a thief. But why? Who could want to take uranium out of the factory? Everyone knew how stupid and dangerous that was. She looked silently at her empty house. Now there was nothing in her home. Only a brown envelope in a hole in the wall. Chapter 9. Where to go? Karen tried to think. She was hot. Perhaps she was dying. She was dangerous to other people. Dangerous to Drew. She couldn't phone him. She was alone. She forgot about Pete in Washington. She sat down on the ground and cried. She wanted to die quickly. 3 hours later, Drew found her there. She was still sitting on the ground. Her face was white and empty. She didn't look up when he walked across to her.
"Karen, my Karen, come with me at once. Someone from the factory phoned me. I know everything."
"Karen, look at me."
"Don't come near me. I'm dangerous to you."
"Don't be stupid. I talked to the doctor at the factory. He says you're not dangerous to anyone. You've had a shower, so your body's not radioactive now." Karen looked up into his face.
"And you believe him? Do you still believe anybody in that place? Do you also believe I stole uranium from the factory?"
"Of course not. Did they say that to you? That's terrible. Wait until tomorrow. When I get in there, they'll be sorry they ever said that to you."
"It's no good, Drew. I'm dying,"
said Karen quietly.
"I don't know how this happened, but I know one thing. There are people at that factory
who want to see me dead. Karen, you're tired. You need a holiday. You must leave the factory like me. Come home with me now. Home? I haven't got a home anymore. Karen put her head in her hands. Drew looked at the empty house. His face was white and angry. Did they do that too? Karen, my home is your home from now on. He took both Karen's hands and pulled her to her feet. He helped her to his car and took her home. Chapter 10. Karen explains to Drew. That night, Karen and Drew couldn't sleep. They had to talk. How did your house get so radioactive? That's the question, said Drew. I think, answered Karen, that someone put something radioactive into my bag last night before I left the factory. I remember that I left my bag on the table for a few minutes at coffee time in the afternoon. But Karen, who did that? And why? Drew, I'm going to tell you something. Perhaps I'm dying now, so there mustn't be any secrets between us anymore. I agreed to get photos of the fuel rods for the union in Washington. I've stolen photos and negatives from the photographic laboratory. Perhaps someone saw me. One of the managers. You've stolen photos? What photos? Why? Karen explained everything to Drew. He was very quiet when she finished. In the end, he took her hand. Karen, this is very dangerous. I'm afraid for you. Perhaps someone does want to kill you. Didn't you think of that danger when the union asked you to do this? Why did you agree to do it? Because I care, Drew. Somebody has to do something. Why not me? I care about you, about Susan, about everyone who has ever worked at that factory. If the danger from radioactive dust doesn't stop, perhaps we'll all die. Don't you understand that? Yes, I understand, said Drew quietly. But I also understand that you're doing a difficult and dangerous job alone. You mustn't work alone anymore. I'll be with you all the time. Nobody is going to hurt you again. Karen smiled. I was right to tell you. I need a friend, and you are the best friend that I have. But it's not much longer now. After the meeting with the New York Times, everything will be finished. I can go on for a few more days, but I'll tell you everything from now on. Next morning, Karen telephoned Pete in Washington and the union committee at the factory. She told them about her house and that the managers were calling her a thief. From Washington, Pete's voice sounded angry and worried. The factory's managers are trying to sack you. Say nothing. Do nothing. We'll speak to them and tell them that we know what's happened to you. You must have medical tests, and we'll tell them that. Karen waited at Drew's house all day. In the evening, the phone rang.
Miss Silkwood.
said Mr. Bailey's cold voice.
You and Drew, and your friend Paula, must go to Los Alamos for tests. The doctors there know all about uranium and radioactive dust. We've talked to the union. We will pay for the journey, and they will pay for the tests. But we know that you've stolen some uranium. That's why you were so radioactive. There's no other answer.
The phone line went dead. Karen looked at Drew.
You and I are going to Los Alamos for medical tests. But I'm sure now. The managers know. They know what I've really stolen. And they'll look for them while we're away. They'll tell everyone that they're looking for the stolen uranium. But they won't find anything. They won't find their negatives.
Chapter 11. The Night Drive. Karen, Paula, and Drew went to Los Alamos and had the tests. The doctors said that Karen's body was still a little radioactive, but Drew and Paula were all right. It was very good news. They told Karen that she was in no danger now, but they also explained that they didn't know about the future.
It will be a few years, they said, before we know that you're really all right.
High in the mountains around Los Alamos, Paula, Drew, and Karen had a party in a little restaurant. Karen felt years younger. She was not going to die. She and Drew still had a future together. They all danced until midnight. The next day they took the plane back to Oklahoma City. Karen had to go back because that evening there was a union meeting at the factory, and after that, her meeting with Pete and the journalist from the New York Times. It was an important day for her. They arrived at the airport in the morning. Early in the evening, Karen drove to her house. She went alone because Drew was working. She used her key and went quietly into the house. She was only inside the house for 3 minutes, and then she left immediately and went to the union meeting at the factory. That night at the meeting, Karen had a big brown envelope in her bag. The envelope was too big for the bag, so everyone could see it. All the workers were very happy to hear that Karen was all right. They were afraid that she was very ill, so when they saw her looking happy and well, everyone felt better. "She looks as happy as she did a year ago," thought Susan. "A pretty, happy girl who likes a good time and a good laugh." After the meeting, a lot of people wanted to talk to Karen and ask her about the last few days. "I'm sorry," she said. "I can't talk to you now. I have to go to another meeting."
"With your good-looking Drew?"
asked someone with a friendly laugh. "Yes," said Karen, "with Drew, and 1 or 2 other people." She smiled.
"Can I take you in my car?"
asked her friend Bob. "No, thanks," said Karen. "I've got my car here." It was dark when Karen left the factory. She smiled at all her friends, got into her small white car, and drove away. Karen never arrived at her meeting with Drew, Pete, and the journalist from the New York Times. on the road to the meeting, a few miles from the nuclear factory, she had an accident by a wall near a river. It was November 13th, 1974. Nobody ever found the brown envelope.